right now on the Supreme Court issuing a ruling on the birthright citizenship.
The justices upholding it, issuing a blow to the Trump administration. And joining us live right now, former prosecutor Bill Barner. Bill, what's your reaction?
Good afternoon. Thanks for having me. This opinion came out. It was written by Chief Justice John Roberts this morning. And the issue was whether or not Donald Trump's from last year executive order essentially dismantling birthright citizenship was constitutional. The Supreme Court ruled against the executive order, and in their opinion, they really dissected two competing thoughts on citizenship. Blood versus soil. Is it where you're born or to whom one's born that determines their U.S. citizenship? And in the opinion, the justices went through the whole history, starting with Old English common law to the widespread condemnation of the Dred Scott decision, which went through the blood version analysis, to the Civil Rights Act of 1866, post-Civil War, and 2 years later became the 14th Amendment, ratified in 1868. And the 14th Amendment reads, all persons born or naturalized in the U.S. and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are U.S. citizens. Lastly, in 1898, the U.S. Supreme Court issued a ruling that it was soil, not blood. It is where you're born, not to whom you're born.
Let's talk a little bit about the human impact, Van. You've talked about the reasoning behind this ruling, but in terms of the human impact, what changes, if any, are we going to see?
Well, there won't really be any changes because it's going to be business as usual when we talk about birthright citizenship. But it's worth noting what was avoided by this decision going the way it had, because had it gone the other way, we now have to. I have a U.S. birth certificate. It's not going to prove I'm a U.S. citizen. I now have to prove my parents' citizenship. And so you imagine somebody who a mother's not a U.S. citizen, a father is, but the father's absconded. He's gone. He got a pack of cigarettes. He never came back. And this child grows into adult, and for the rest of their lives, unless and until they're able to track down proof of their father's citizenship, they would have no way of establishing that they are indeed a U.S. citizen.
We have seen this challenge back in 1898. It was determined as settled law. We now have seen this again challenged on in 2026. Is this now, do you think, settled law, or do you anticipate more challenges to birthright citizenship in the future?
It stops with the Supreme Court, and you know, a lot of people, myself included, feel that it kind of did stop in 1898, but even the Supreme Court over generations will overrule themselves. But this does seem to be the nail in the coffin to the argument of blood versus soil.
All right, Bill Barner, thank you so much for joining us this noon and giving us your perspective. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. Have a good rest of your day.
You too.